Texas Aggies. Jimbo Fisher, I'm Andrew Monaco. Thanks for joining us along the Aggie Radio Network on Facebook Live and on Twitter at Aggie Football. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Doing well.
Bye week. As everybody thinks a bye week is, you guys all go away, right? It's a hammock and it's beach time.
You're more tired on the bye week than you are during the week. You go traveling. That's what I told our kids. And then you go try to do something with family and the little bit of time you get. But no, it was a lot of fundamental work. We went back 3 really good practices and recruiting the other day. So, you were still busy every day.
The opportunity, you play 7 games, and A&M is 5-2, 3-1 in conference, and now ranked number 16. That chance to take that break and focus on fundamentals, basically the midway part of the season, how beneficial can that be?
It can be very. We tried to evaluate what we need to do and just little things on certain blocks, certain things on defense, how we take on block. A lot of little things in that regard to try to fundamentally get sound and, how we run a route, how we, our footwork at quarterback, how our hips and our alignment and our eyes. You really could go back in those times because we didn't game plan. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to game plan because you get one to get bored. If I game plan too early, they get bored with it. And 2, we wanted to just focus on ourselves and try to get better. We'll see how it works.
I know that each of your practice periods, you go over all that stuff, but because there was no game plan, you get to focus a little bit. The game plan can take up so much.
Well, it does, and we even do different drills. Mm-hmm. Like during camp, you'll do different drills than you do during a game week. Where certain things you're game planning, doing team stuff, we may break down and do partial drills. In other words, just 2 guys on 2 guys. 3 guys on 2 guys, or 3 on. How do we want to do it, and really break it down? Like say you teach whole, then part, then whole, and then we went back to the part. Just individually breaking everything down.
Talking with the players this week, I think they enjoyed because the bodies got a little bit of a break.
Yes.
But I think they also anticipate what these next 5 weeks will bring.
Oh, they know this. And the season just starts. This is where it's about. You made yourself where you're in a good position. Now you got to go finish. And you got 2 extremely tough road games. You get 3 very tough home games. So, we got a hard road to hoe, and we're going to have to go play good football, and we got to be strong all the way through. And we got to get better as we go each week.
Mississippi State coming up this Saturday. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I want to get your initial thoughts of having to play in Starkville. That's not an easy place to play.
It's a very tough place. It's hard to travel into. You get in there, and it's very loud. You get those cowbells, and those people do a great job of supporting their team, and they got really good players. You mix about all that. They got remember, they were a preseason up to sometimes even high as 10, 12 in the preseason poll this year. They're going to have a lot of guys drafted. They played some really close, tight football games. So, they got a very good football team.
Jimbo, was it important to go into that bye week with a victory out South Carolina?
Well, that makes it a lot better. I promise you that. It's a lot better doing it that way than you have to sit on. Because, football is the only game. It's like other sports. Even if you have a bad day, usually within the next 2 days you get to play again, baseball and basketball, and you get that out of your mouth. Football, you got to sit with it for a week. And if it's an off week, it's 2 weeks. That's not very fun. We're grumpy enough. We're all coaches are grumpy enough. We don't need 2 weeks of thinking back about something like that. So it made it a lot more pleasant, I'll play that.
A terrific win and another tough place to win. That's South Carolina.
Yeah, listen. Anytime you win on the road in this league, it's tough. And they got a very good team. They had just had a great game against Missouri the week before and come back and won, and that's always a very tough place to play.
Am I in trouble tonight because the baseball game is right up there? Game 2
of
the World Series. So if you're a little distracted, I know what it is.
You could be. I missed a little bit of last night because we were meeting so late. I just got the last inning or 2, and then they hit the home run, went up. It was 5-4, and I looked 8-4. I said, "Dag, I couldn't even watch no exciting baseball."
You know what? I'm going to take a break so you can check in. I hope the game starts. That is Jimbo Fisher, head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. I'm Andrew Monaco. This is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. Also like to tell you that Aggie football is brought to you by Bud Light, proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics, reminding you to enjoy responsibly. Much more of the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit when we return to Rudy's here at 504 Harvey Road in College Station. This is Aggie football from Learfield.
You're back.
The Jimbo Fisher Radio Show rolls on. Presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road, and AT&T is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. More for your thing, that's our thing. Along with Jimbo Fisher, I'm Andrew Monaco, and the folks who have braved the rain. And you know what? Out and about throughout the entire state and the Aggie Radio Network. Hey, y'all, be safe out there if you're listening to us in the car and driving. There's been a lot of rain. That's driven you inside this week, hasn't it?
No, it did today. Yesterday it didn't any other days. Today it did. And we probably would have went outside today, but if it was a little slick, and sometimes when it gets slick, those guys will slip, tear some muscles, and then we'd had a good day yesterday, so we went in, and kids rather be outside. I'd rather be outside.
Yeah.
But is what it is.
Yeah, you have to – but as long as you get that good workout in, whether it's on the grass or on the turf.
Yeah,
correct?
having the indoor and all that, man, you still got your work done. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Also about the bye week, and you touched on it a little bit, a chance to go out and see some recruits, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt. You got to get out. I mean, as people don't realize, I mean, you're recruiting every day. No matter what you're coaching, you still got to recruit every day. Because if you don't, as soon as you do, you're behind. Mm-hmm. And so we had the first chance to really get out on the road and start to see. You couldn't see guys, but they knew you were there. Guys went to games. We went to games, saw games, stuff like that. So it's always great to be able to do that and interact with high school coaches, which is the key part.
That collective that's your entire coaching staff getting out there.
Oh, yeah,
correct?
everybody.
A lot of miles this week.
A lot, a whole lot.
You talk about that connection with the coaches. That is imperative to success, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, relationships. It's all about relationships, about people and being able to interact and associate, and that because those coaches are an extended part of those kids' families, and they want to know that the schools are going to and where they're going to be used, and like their kids too. How are you going to take care of them? How are you going to make sure they're done right? They're going to do right, and you have to have that relationship and help knowing that they feel comfortable that you're going to develop their kids in all phases of their life.
That trust is huge, and another aspect of it.
It's a magical word. It's the key word. It's like between players and coaches, coaches and players, coaches and coaches, everybody, everything in life. You got to have trust.
You had told us before, other coaches that you have dealt with, the Arkansas week, you talked about Chad Morris. Nice to deal with and talk with high school coaches, and it's always a chance to learn, and that learning goes both ways, doesn't it?
Hey, those guys sit and scheme ball up all day, too, and you sit and watch that film on. Man, I ain't never seen something like that. You learn from everybody. You see things, because, listen, they don't get to always go recruit players, so they have to be selective, and they got what they have from their areas, and then – they have to be creative. So they have to think of ways to do things, go against different opponents and different things that go on. You learn from everybody.
And some of those coaches can be like second fathers or parents to some of these kids, right?
No doubt. I mean, you spend such an extended amount of time with them. Yeah. And you influence their lives in so many different ways. And that's why one of the things you love about coaching is the relationship. Listen, I mean, they're going to say this. I mean, I love going to games. But the games is probably the least favorite thing I have. I love practice. I love recruiting. I love being with the kids. I love all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's getting and you talk to old coaches. I don't miss all that, but I miss the camaraderie. I miss the other coaches. I miss the kids. I miss the relationships of people. Because at the end of the day, it's like what we do is great, and everybody thinks it's a great thing to be a coach, and it is. But at the end of the day, it's about your family. And your family becomes your extended family, the kids you coach and everybody you're with.
So when that player comes back at 40, 45, 50 with his family, you love watching him grow up and see the man he's become.
Successful and having great things happen to him in their life. And, we laugh about the times you get on you and you got on them and, you had those disagreements, but, understanding that you're trying to help them develop.
I was at the Burgess banquet. That was a couple weeks ago. And Jackie Sherrill's former players talk to Jackie a lot different now than they did back then.
Oh, yeah.
They're able to do that. But you find the relationship changes, right? And they can do that with you, can't they?
But, I still kind of leave that open to them, too. Like I say, if you call me Coach Fisher, I don't care. Call me Jimbo. All I'm going to do, I don't bother me. You can say Coach disrespectful. You can say Jimbo disrespectful. It doesn't matter. It's all a relationship. It's how you talk and how you relate to people. And, hey, we spend so many hours together, man. We all know so much about each other, and we got each other's back.
Being called coach, though, that's still special no matter what age they are, isn't it?
Yep.
Knowing that you had that influence for them. And we've always, throughout this show, we've always talked about it's what they become after 22 and 23, right?
Exactly
Whether they're
right.
in the NFL or not.
Exactly right.
That is Jimbo Fisher. He's the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. This is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road in College Station. Football and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood. Rudy's smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com. The Jimbo Fisher Radio Show, presented by Capital Farm Credit, will return. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. Continues. Presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. And a couple of the young Aggie fans have come up to get Jimbo Fisher's autograph. And a reminder that kids be the future of the 12th man. Join the Junior Aggie Club today. Members of the official Kids Club of Texas A&M Athletics, 12 years of age and younger. Join the Junior Aggie Club today to receive free admission to Aggie athletic events throughout the year, plus exclusive access and experiences. Group, sibling, and 12th Man Foundation discounts are available. Visit junioraggieclub.com and join today. As we continue with Jimbo Fisher, Aggies and Mississippi State on Saturday, 6 o'clock kickoff, 5 o'clock pregame along the Aggie Radio Network. And another road game for the Aggies. We talked about playing in Starkville. So far, Jimbo, can't go back to South Carolina, just like the game up in Arlington against Arkansas. You've had some really good starts on the road. That's key, is it not?
Oh, no doubt. You got to. And, I mean, just to give you that confidence, you're in a foreign place, and the quicker you do better, the more you feel comfortable, and the more you get your feet on the ground, you can go play well.
That South Carolina game, you knew the Gamecocks were going to make a run at some point at you, correct? And in that third quarter, that's exactly what they did.
We kept it in there. We kept it in a 2-score game and didn't get to a 3-score game there and left a minute, but they're too good a team, and you knew they were going to take their shots and they were going to get back in it. What I was happy about was how we responded, didn't flinch. And, I mean, took 2 critical drives right back down the field and scored, got a big stop on defense and got that game. Now, I didn't like the drive at the end, unfortunately, because we had 3 15-yard penalties. I mean, when you give a game 45 yards, it's hard not to score. I mean, dadgum. And we had 9 penalties in that game on defense, and that was very uncharacteristic of how we played. But, again, nothing's perfect. Right. We still got work to do in every aspect of offense, defense, special teams. We'll try to get there.
They tie that game at 16. Seth Small gets that field goal. At no point did South Carolina ever have the lead. That's what we were talking about, those 2 key long drives, which is exactly
what you like. And we ate time. The last one was 7.5 minutes or something when we got a touchdown. But the thing to do it on the road, look at your kids, and after because it's easy when you've got the lead and all of a sudden here they come back. They're in their home stadium, 80,000 people are for you. And our kids said, okay, here we go. Let's go right back down the field. And then we went and got a stop on defense, and we got another drive on offense. And it was tremendous. I mean, because everybody contributed, offense, defense, and special teams.
And how timely was the interception by Charles Oliver in the end zone to keep South Carolina
early in the drive. They had a couple plays and got down there, and that's why I say you keep playing every play. And he made a big turnover there, and also by Braden on the when he made the tackle, made a beautiful tackle. I mean, and hit that, and we messed the coverage up, which we haven't done hardly at all in our kick coverage, and we took a shot, got out of lane, and it's 6 inches, and all of a sudden. That's 50 yards later. People don't realize that. I mean, he was 6 inches off, and how we covered it, and it was wrong. But that's a great play by him.
That's the former linebacker in him, right? Before he became a punter, he was a linebacker in high school.
Well, he's an athlete. You can tell that. I mean, he's very athletic.
I told him that you said that about him. It might have made his day. I think that was the best thing he could have heard.
Really?
He said that you called him an athlete.
Well, he's doing a great job.
I mean, you make special teams imperative over the course of the week, and Jimbo, it keeps showing and it keeps paying off.
Well, you got to win those field position battles. I mean, we're playing great defense, but also we're starting drives. The other team's starting drives down their own 10, 12, 14, 15-yard line. It's hard to drive 80, 85 yards unless you hit big plays. And we're keeping the ball on offense. We're getting first downs. Even though we're not getting as many points as we need to, and we're right there on the edge of it, missed a couple kicks, but we're winning the field position, keeping the defense off. And when the team's starting back, our defense is doing a good job of getting off the field on third down, playing the run. And we're playing complementary football. And listen, good teams play to each other. And we get caught up trying to separate everything, with great plays, but you got to play complementary football in all phases.
When folks talk about the hidden yards in special teams, it's not just the number of yards on a punt. Sometimes it's flipping the field, but it's what you say time and again. When they have to start at the 10 as opposed to the 25, those hidden yards right there mean a world of difference.
How you call plays, what you do, the risks you can take, and and you keep pressure on the other team. And then if they do hit a couple plays, they're not in scoring range. If you hit a couple plays, they're still at midfield, and they still, you're out of field goal range. They're not getting points out of it. So all those things really matter.
Another long drive in that game. I joked.
Yeah, we had 96. We've had a bunch of them now. 99, 97.
Technically, that was 94, but it was really 97, right?
Because we had a penalty.
So I joked with my partner, Dave Elmendorf. I said, the Aggies are right where they want to be inside. But that's a great testament to this team.
It is. We had 199 at Alabama. We were down 7-0. And being able to come off your own goal line, have the confidence to throw and catch the ball or run or do whatever we have to do and being backed up. That's something we work on. Again, situational football, third downs, red zone, all that type of stuff. But even we know part of 2 minute before the half, which was critical. We went down, scored 2 minutes before the half, scored the first drive, the second half. Learn to steal games that way. But also something we work on is being backed up. Plays we call, what we want to do, being backed up. At the end of the game and how you're coming off the goal line and what you can do.
You talk a lot about the number of possessions. If you have that ball control, does it become a little more important to get that score off the possessions?
No doubt, because you're limiting your possessions and you're helping your defense. But at the same time, if you're not getting the points, that's still the ultimate thing you got to do, and that's the catch on it. If you can, but when you can do both, boy, you really play good football.
I've asked you time and again about identity, and it seemed like that last drive, and Travion, puts it in, but it seems like this is that part of that Aggie identity of they want to be in that position and just put it right down the throat.
And it was both. We didn't run it. We just didn't throw it. We mixed the drive. We hit runs. We hit passes. We hit the tight end. We hit the receiver. We hit the back. We ran it with the quarterback. We ran it with the back. The diversity in which we had in distributing the ball around and making people play the whole field.
We will get into Mississippi State when we come back to the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit. Hey, start your Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. That's when you can catch The Pulse. Stay up to date with Texas A&M football. The Pulse, Fox Sports Southwest, every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. We'll continue with the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. We're live at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. Presented by Capital Farm Credit. We're at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road. Texas Farm Bureau invites you to visit 12thman.com/maroon contest. Register for your chance to hang out on Kyle Field with the Yell Leaders at the next home game. Winners get photo ops, game tickets, pregame hospitality, and the chance to get a pregame tour of Kyle Field. Register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Along with Jimbo Fisher, I'm Andrew Monaco. Mississippi State on Saturday, 6 o'clock kick, 5 o'clock pregame along the Aggie Radio Network. I joked with Coach Fisher earlier this afternoon when we talked. I said, big boy football in the SEC, and I look at that roster of Mississippi State throughout that entire, both sides of the football, they've got some big student athletes.
You know something? As long as I've ever played them, that's the way they've been.
Really?
I mean, big, athletic, strong. And I remember we had some great teams at different schools I was at, and every time you played Mississippi State, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday the next week, everybody was in the training room. I mean, everybody. I mean, they were just big, physical, strong, athletic. I mean, they've always recruited well. Great players in the state of Mississippi, and don't get a lot of pub because they're in small towns. You don't. I mean, you still have some really high-profile guys, but some of that aren't. Or they're great players that you don't always hear on the radar like that. And I mean, just really good football. Like everyone talks about Simmons and Sweat.
Yeah.
Now Sweat's from Georgia, but Simmons is from there. But you go look at the rest of that D-line, there's a lot of those guys going to make a lot of money too. I mean, they're not just those two guys. And I mean, they're all big, 300, 320, 25 pounds, offensive line. I mean, it's a very physical, good-looking football team.
You talk about playing in the SEC on Saturdays. That translates to playing next level on Sundays, doesn't it?
Oh, no doubt.
A lot of times.
Yeah, when you can produce in this league, you're going to have a shot to play at the next level. That's just the way it is.
Not just Sweat and Simmons, and not just their front four. They rotate that defensive line, don't they? You see a lot of faces.
You watch. I mean, those two won't play 25 or 30 snaps a game because there's a rotation going on and keeping those guys fresh. And also, that's why they're so productive. So when they are in there, they're rested and not playing as many plays. So they have a lot of depth.
They're tall in the secondary, too.
Tall, lanky, long, physical, 210 pounds, both safeties. Corners 6'2", 6'3". One corner 6'2", 220.
Yeah. Does that change anything for you?
Yeah, I mean, how routes of things you're doing and how you attack. I mean, your skill set of what you're trying to run somebody is what they can defend or what they do or you think their skill set is. But those big, long guys tend to kind of get everything. You
like to attack that guy who's 5'10" back there if you can,
yeah.
Especially with a Kendrick Rogers or a Jay Sternberg.
If you can. Yep.
if you can.
But I figured out when they're playing in this league at 5'10", they're pretty special too.
It's a great
They're doing
point.
that too.
So I wanted to take a look at this because that Mississippi State defensive line, just the starters, their 4 starters, have 12 sacks. 34 tackles for loss.
Disruptive.
They are, aren't they?
I mean, Sweat's got 10 alone. And Simmons is so disruptive and violent with his hands. He's not fit. I mean, his hands and how he throws people and can create leverage. And then the other 5 to 92. I mean, you go through the whole list. They're all like that. But those guys are so disruptive in what they do. And then they bring blitzes and pressure.
Now, because I look at things with
backers are big.
The backers are big. Yeah.
Really, 250,
Errol
240,
Thompson
245. I mean, big and 6'2", 6'3", athletic, long. It's a big athletic football team.
As I say that, the A&M defensive line, you're starting for 13 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
And almost 25 tackles for loss.
They're getting there.
And the same thing, that's an understatement there. And also you get to rotate some players in. It's not the same 4.
No, you don't, and you have to do that. People, kids all want to play, but then they really appreciate it once they get to these higher levels of ball. When you recruit them, coach, I don't want to play. I don't want no way. No, I want to play. Coach, got a break. And you get somebody just there. I mean, when you're playing at a high level and high intensity, you appreciate it, and your body does because it's a long season. You're talking about going, we're only averaging 52 plays a game on defense, which is great.
Yeah.
And you're averaging 70 and 80, and you're going through 12 games. That's almost, 840 plays, 70 at 12 games. That's 840 plays a game. That's a lot of plays now for one guy to take. So you have to break that up, and your body's only got so much in it and allows you to stay fresh and do the things you have to do.
Does having depth help you
helps everything.
Have more success?
No doubt.
Because if it's just, you have to be deeper than just the first 11, correct?
You do. Listen, I mean, if you don't, the season wears on you. Even you're not the same player if you have to take all those reps at the end of the year if you are at the beginning of the year. The beating and in the nicks and knacks you have, and how you practice. See, it also in your player development. So you don't understand when you're going against each other. And you say you only have one good set of players. Well, then what the other guys are working on aren't very good, so they're not getting any better. So your greatest competition comes when you got depth on the offense and defense that you're competing every day. And that's why we do good on good, even in practice during the weeks, every Tuesday and Wednesday. Those guys, and they love going at it. They used to hate it. I thought it was crazy in the beginning. Then they've appreciated it. But it enhances you. The more good players you got, the better practice on, the more competitive it comes, the greater your level of team becomes.
It's funny you say that. Talking with Dalen Mack on one of the podcasts, he said he's never faced anybody better than Eric McCoy.
Oh, I don't think there's any
right?
doubt. when your best battles are coming in practice, you know you're in good shape. But he is, and that's. But Eric is. He's smart. He's athletic. He's big. He's one heck of a football player.
That makes you look
one heck of and smart. God, is he smart?
It makes you look forward to Saturday as a player, don't you? Well, I don't have to go up against him the rest of the week.
Exactly right. And I tell you what makes me feel good when you know you're like your center and your quarterback. When you got those two guys there and you feel comfortable, it makes it fun to play. That
is Jimbo Fisher. And this is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are live at Rudy's. A reminder, AT&T is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. More for your thing. That's our thing. We will come back, continue previewing the Aggies and Mississippi State. That's coming up at 6 o'clock on Saturday, 5 o'clock with our pregame along the Aggie Radio Network. Stay with us as the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit continues from Rudy's. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. The Jimbo Fisher Radio Show, presented by Capital Farm Credit, continues from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road. Glad that you've stayed with us along the Aggie Radio Network. We will be with you on Saturday at 6 o'clock for the Aggies and Mississippi State. Aggies Can will once again take place on November 10th at the Ole Miss football game. All fans who donate a canned good or monetary donation will receive a coupon for a free Whataburger while supplies last. The proceeds of Aggies Can benefit the Brazos Valley Food Bank and the 12th Can, thanks to KBTX and Whataburger for their support of Aggies Can. As we mentioned, we will be with you on Saturday, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock with the pregame. Dave Elmendorf, Will Johnson, and I will join you there from Starkville, Mississippi, as the Aggies take on Mississippi State this Saturday. Texas A&M football is brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. Capital Farm Credit, together we're better. When we come back, we ask for questions every week. We've got them. Ian Curtis is going to lead us off, as he does every single week. He does my job for me every week. We've got questions for Jimbo Fisher when we return to the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. We roll on from Rudy's. This is Aggies football from Learfield. We continue with the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road. Along with Jimbo Fisher, I'm Andrew Monaco. We ask for questions every week, and we have them. Ian Curtis, raise your hand over there, Ian. Yeah, there he is. Jimbo, he has a question every single week, and a good one.
We get our picture every week to get a question every week.
Jimbo, what do you most enjoy about coaching collegiate athletes?
Again, like I talked about, the relationships and watching them develop. I mean, watching the kids you recruited to become the men that they leave, you know what I'm saying, and watching them grow and also just how they change in life and some things how they thought things were so important at a certain age they realized weren't very important and how they just grow and then just the relationships and period. Just coaching the heck out of them and watching them grow.
You made the comment when you were talking about re-recruiting, I guess. I don't know if that's a word. I just made it up. Jay Sternberger. And you said when you're not the same person at 18 that you are at the end of your collegiate career. So you see that growth.
And we forget that sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're so quick on these kids to, as soon as they make a mistake, he's a bad guy. If social media was around, now people won't raise their hand out here. If social media was around when you grew up, how many of us would be in a situation we're in right now with what these kids are going through? I mean, it is all the things you used to be able. But listen, you're going to make mistakes when you're 18 to 22.
Right.
But they're 18. We want them to act like they're 35 already. I mean, but life doesn't work that way. But that's just the way it is, and you have to sort through that and explain. But unfortunately for them, that's the world they live in. You have to get them to understand that.
Yeah.
Because they can't make a silly mistake that was made 25 years ago and be okay. It's just a different world in which we live in, and everybody knows everybody's business. And it's a very tough thing for these kids. And then you mount the pressures because of this on what people say about you on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever it is, how you play, what you do, what you should be doing, what you're not doing, what their opinion is. And so many, I said this last time we was on here, so many kids' opinion of themselves is based off what other people say. Right. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the way the world is. Yeah. That's the world we live in.
Definitely changed. What do you like best about Texas A&M so far?
People. Simple. That's an easy answer.
That's
People.
That was the first impression, wasn't it?
It was.
You talked about that during coaches' nights in the summer.
The people are different. They're genuine.
Yeah.
Genuine, honest, and they love it. And it's nothing fake about it. There's nothing pretentious about it. It's who you are, what you are, and this is what we do and how we do it, and proud of it. What's wrong with that?
Just nailed Aggies in a sentence, didn't he? Well, what's been your favorite memory so far being coach?
I haven't had any memory. I'm looking forward. I'll reflect when the year's over. I haven't thought about that one. I haven't had time to think. The next opponent's always keeping you going.
Gotcha. What was the best lesson you've learned from your dad and from your mom? So there are 2 question marks here. So from your dad and from your mom.
I never forget one time my dad was I can't remember. I believe it was a homeless man was in our town, and he was drinking or something that was going on, and I was a little kid. I was probably about 6 years old, and kind of pointing, and as a little kid, you're doing kind of laughing and all that. Man, all of a sudden, bam! I mean, right upside the head. He said, "What are you laughing?" And he knew. I said, "Don't you be laughing." He said, I said, "Daddy, he looks funny." He said, "Well, maybe you look funny to him." He said, don't judge anybody. Look till you look through their eyes and what goes on and what happens. He said, what you see may not be what he sees, and that's what makes the world go around. Don't ever forget that people looking at you thinking the same thing. He said, don't ever judge somebody on things like that. And I was a little kid, and it always stuck with me about trying to, imitate, trying to make fun of people or do something, or if somebody was different or something like that. He said, how do you know what he sees from you? Just because that don't make you right. You know what I'm saying? And he always, the way he judged people, and he was honest with people, and he always told you what was on his mind.
Yeah.
Point blank. My mom's was, I think, and he was probably how to love. Mm-hmm. I really mean that. Just how to be tough at times, but how to. She's known in school, like I told that chemistry, was the toughest, run the biggest room in the world. And people would see her at the house. That ain't even close to the same lady. It's different, but how truly loving and caring she was for her family. That family was above everything, whether it was kids, husband, her mom, aunts, uncles, cousins, and how family was the ultimate thing to do, and that's why you live, to make your family better and to support them and do those things. And from that, I had very special parents. I was very lucky.
To be around, you lived that as opposed to that being told to you, right? You lived that.
Oh,
every
I did.
single
Everybody
day.
around. Grandma lived down the road. Great aunt, the one named everybody had cousins. We lived in that holler. We couldn't leave half the time. Couldn't get out. But people had cousins and family, and Sunday dinners and going to great grandma's house and grandma's house and aunt's house. That's what we did all the time. We were always together on all the things you did.
That's awesome. That's Jimbo Fisher, the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. This is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are live here at Rudy's. We want you to stand with the 12th man in support of Texas A&M football. Experience Kyle Field with a 3-game flex packet, including $30 in concessions for the remaining 3 home games against Ole Miss, UAB, and LSU. Group discounts for 12 or more people, and single-game tickets are also available. Buy today at 12thman.com/football tickets or call 888-99-AGGIE. That's 12thman.com/football tickets or 888-99-AGGIE to buy Aggie football tickets today, the 3-game flex pack. We'll come back, continue with the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit, live on location here at Rudy's on 504 Harvey Road. This is Aggie football from Learfield. you can thank our servicemen and women by purchasing seats for them to attend the November 17th Texas A&M football game against UAB at Kyle Field. Donate $20 military appreciation tickets today for active duty, reserves, and retired military personnel to request free tickets to that game that is on November 17th. Visit 12thman.com/military and donate $20 Aggie football military appreciation tickets today. Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit rolls on from Rudy's. And Coach was talking about good on good. You got two good rushing defenses. You've got an offensive line for A&M that keeps improving and keeps improving every week. You get Keaton Sutherland back this week. Two good rushing offenses. The matchups really are intriguing.
It is.
For Saturday.
They're third in the country in defense. I think second or third in points, giving up right at 13 points a game. Their rushing defense is really good. Ours is number one, I think, in the country, if I'm not mistaken. They rush for two. They're the number one rushing team in the league. Over 250 yards a game. We rush for 204, but we throw it also for 282. So, we're a little more balanced, but. It's going to be a challenge. They got guys, and they got huge sack guys. I mean, we're throwing it well for 280, but they're rushing, and Sweat himself's got 10 sacks.
Yeah.
Me and Simmons and all those guys. So it's going to be a heck of a matchup. They are one heck of. They've only given up 7 or 8 touchdowns the whole year. Mm-hmm. And something like that. I mean, it's something that's crazy.
Their defense keeps them in every game, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. I mean, listen, and that's where you when you're great on defense, you always got a chance. And they've had their moments on offense, but listen, Fitzgerald can run. You run for 3,000 yards. 3,000.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tailbacks never even come close to that.
Right.
And what he does, the effect he has on the game, and not only the little run, he makes big runs. And they got receivers, they have guys on offense, and Joe's a heck of a football coach, so they'll be ready, and we'll get both barrels.
Yeah.
You can bank on that. We'll go with both barrels blazing, I promise you.
You want to contain Nick Fitzgerald. You face those kind of quarterbacks
so
far this season.
We have. The thing that makes him a little different, he's so big and strong. And they push the pile with him and things. So we're going to have our hands full.
Yeah, that is for sure. You will not have Donovan Wilson for the first half. The targeting call in the second half. How do you approach that? Do you first of all, who replaces him, and then do you deal with that as if it's like an injury or something like that?
Yeah, well, Carper does, and that's what you got to do. Carper, he'll play, and then we get him ready to go in the second half and get him going. Unfortunately, you hate losing that guy because he was playing great football. I mean, that was one of your best open field tacklers. He's a guy, especially in the game we're going to play now, the run support coming up to play quarterback runs and things like that. It's going to be very tough not having him.
You did not have Keldrick earlier in the season.
Yeah. Again,
back to that bye week is a chance for bodies to heal and get players
back.
Isn't
you got
it?
You got to get them healed up, and there's a few more I'd love to have back too.
They getting closer?
They are. They are. They got to. They got to be. They can't be going the other way. Can't wait.
But that's almost as in the course of a season when you're able to get those players back, it kind of changes. I always ask you about identity and the way they play, but the identity of your personnel can sometimes change and make you deeper and things like that.
No doubt. I mean, and how the rotation goes, and then the ability to call things. Like say, for instance. I use this for example. Say you didn't have a quality backup quarterback, which we got a tremendous quarterback. Mm-hmm. We had two. I think we got two starters, really. That's the way I look at it. But if you didn't have one, the chances you may take with Kellen may not be the same as things that you would do now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and how you would play a guy on defense, how you'd play a guy on offense, and what you do with him, you may not. Because you may pick and choose and do it less because the more you expose him, the things that can happen. So, when you get depth in the defensive line, you get depth in the corner, you get depth. All the different wares, it allows you as a coach, you can do more. Because you in the back of your mind you can't play scared and you do what you have to do to win, but you may not do it as much as you would if knowing you have quality people.
Not wanting to put that backup in there because he may not be ready.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, and it's not that he can't play. Sometimes guys aren't ready. They're young. They're not experienced enough.
Yeah, that's Jimbo Fisher. This is the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit. We will come back. One final segment here from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road. Stay with us. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. Final segment of the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road, here in College Station. I didn't know what to do last Wednesday, by the way. I had to cook for myself. It was completely different a week ago.
Yeah, I can understand. It did seem weird not coming, didn't it?
It did. It really did. I'm just going to blow everybody's mind if I tell them that the Red Sox are up 1-0.
Yeah.
And they lead the Dodgers in game number 2 and World Series go. It's a great time of year, isn't it? So many sports going on. And now the games become so much more meaningful in college football, don't
exactly
they?
right. I mean, September and I say October has to be a great month because I always say they remember November and December and January is what really matters. And so I mean you got to make the games relevant. Put ourselves. We got to finish this month to where November really is a relevant month in what we have to do. And again we got some great tests. I mean to go at Mississippi State and to go at Auburn now right here back to back. Boy, they're going to be huge challenges. And then you got to make in the month of November those games make a difference, and you got to be able to play them.
I know you were not here for it, but it's a trend that these players want to change. They want to finish strong, and that seems to be their motto and their mantra.
It is, and you got to make sure because you want to do something doesn't mean you're going to do something. Did you train for it? Did you prepare for it? And I hope people say, what are you going to do now to get the rest of the season? Well, if I haven't already done it, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to do that in the off season. We have to do it in the summer. We have to do it in the fall camp. And we'll continue to do it in how we practice. But we're going to see. And then it's just we're trying to grow. We have to keep growing. We haven't come close to playing our best football. I mean, we're having great defense. We're having great offense as far as numbers and things. But we're not close to playing what we're capable of. But at the same time, we got to learn how to win, and persevere over a whole season. It's a mental grind, and how you practice, how you play, and to be able to go on the road and execute and make a difference. And we're going to find out. And these are meaningful games. We put ourselves that they mean something right now. And so I'm anxious to watch us grow. These are huge challenges and huge steps to where it's going to let us know what we have to do continually in the next offseason and the things going forward in the future.
If these players had in the past, and I don't know, but if they had taken the bye week and used that as an off week, but for them, they seem to really be thrilled to be out there and going hard on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Well, when you have success and you have a goal and listen, there is no easy way to win. If you win, you got to outwork somebody. And the talent levels on these teams, everybody is talented. Some are a lot more talented than we are. Some are. It doesn't matter. It's about what you do, how you produce, how you work, your attitude, your demeanor, all the things that go into being successful. And you can't fake those things.
Right.
Football, listen, when you get on the field, all that fake and all that talking and all that other, emotion doesn't win a game. Execution and practice and preparation wins a game.
What are you going to do when you get hit in the mouth, right?
Exactly. That guy hits you in the mouth, all them plans go, all that jaw goes out the window. Yeah. Can you stand up and play?
You're not going to do it just once.
And you're going to have to line up and play and take their best shot. And we're going to have a lot to grow. I mean, I'm anxious, do I think we can do it? Without a doubt. But I'm anxious to see where we're at and what we do and the steps we take.
How do you get the win in Starkville on Saturday? What do the Aggies have to do?
I mean, again, playing sound football. You got to take care of the football. And I always say this, turnovers and big plays right now affect the game as much as anything. We need to play penalty-free and play very intelligent because we put ourselves behind the 8 ball with defensive penalties and special teams errors. We had 2 15-yard penalties on special teams in that game too, and we were critical of. So we got to get that cleaned up, and then we got to play great situational football. We got to be, like you say, red zone, third down, getting off and converting on both sides, coming out of the goal line, winning that field position battle. And we got to be great in the kicking game and hit our kicks and take care of the football. And we got to be physical. We got to be able to run the football, and we got to be able to stop the run because that's how they play.
Your third down success comes from what you do also on first and second.
First down. You want to be good on third down, be good on first down.
Conversely, on defense, you want Mississippi State to have third and long all day.
Third and 7 or more. Changes how you call plays, what you got to do, and the whole dimensions of the game.
It's funny when you look at the statistics for things like that, they just jump out at you, the difference between 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 7 and longer and 3rd and shorts.
Exactly right. What you call, what you can do, and how you pick things up. And so, those third down situations, red zone, all that stuff, it all makes a difference. And again, 2 minutes before the half, 2 minutes to end the game, all those things coming out the second half, how you get started in the first half. I mean, all those things set a tone, and they all add up.
Coach, great to be back with you. Thanks so much.
Great to be here, too. Thank you.
You got a Jimbo Fisher Radio Show is presented by Capital Farm Credit here at Rudy's. A reminder to join us on Saturday. 5 o'clock is when our pregame show will start on the Aggie Radio Network, and then 6 o'clock will be the kickoff between the 16th ranked Fighting Texas Aggies and Mississippi State from Starkville. We certainly hope that you will join us. This has been the Jimbo Fisher Radio Show presented by Capital Farm Credit, live from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road. For the head coach, Jimbo Fisher, I'm Andrew Monaco. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Thanks and gig 'em.